Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something I think everyone has dealt with. There's really high stakes conversations.
Oh, yeah.
That moment when you're managing an escalation. Could be a furious customer, a really stressed team member.
Or a stakeholder who just isn't convinced.
Exactly. And we're looking at the Management English blog, which has this detailed blueprint for using very specific vocabulary rooted in emotional intelligence to diffuse all that tension.
And that's especially key if you're doing this in a second language, right?
Yeah.
Where all that nuance can just get lost so easily.
Absolutely. So we're going to break down this really smart three-step process.
Right. It's a framework that moves you systematically from acknowledgement to empathy and then to reassurance. And it's not just about being polite. This is a deliberate psychological strategy.
A way to get past that initial defensiveness.
Exactly. And get straight to solving the problem.
Okay, let's unpack that. It all starts with acknowledgement statements. The source says you have to immediately own the failing with phrases like, I am sorry, your experience has been unacceptable. Or, that is really concerning, thank you for letting me know.
Strong phrases.
They are, but wait, doesn't owning it that quickly, expose you or the company to liability? If you apologize before you even know what happened.
That is the crucial question, isn't it? But the insight here is that being vulnerable with a sincere apology, it actually creates authority, not weakness.
Oh, interesting.
By leading with that acknowledgement, you're just validating their experience. Not necessarily the details of the complaint yet. You just short-circuit their fight-or-flight response.
That makes sense. Okay, so once you've lowered the emotional temperature, we move to empathy statements.
Right. And what's fascinating here is that the source suggests you should actually encourage people to complain, to show their emotion.
That feels so counterintuitive.
It does. But it helps calm things down as long as you meet it with sincere, patient responses. You need language that builds rapport. Things like, I completely understand your concern. Or for even stronger empathy, something like, I am sure I would feel the same way or worse in your shoes. It shows you're a partner, not an adversary.
Okay, so you've built that bridge with empathy. Now you have to shift from feeling to doing, which is the reassurance part.
Yes, this is where you convey control. The phrases are all about commitment and capability.
Like, resolving this is my sole priority and I will do all I can do. I love this other one. I'm here to take care of this and have the resources required. Why is mentioning resources so critical?
Because it flips a switch in their head from panicked to secure. It's proof that their problem isn't just going to fall into some bureaucratic black hole. It signals you have control.
That clarity is so important. But the source has this huge caveat here, the rule to underpromise and overdeliver.
Absolutely critical. When people are emotional, they often hear what they want to hear.
Right, they hear confirmation of their hopes, not the actual facts.
Exactly. So you have to speak with extreme clarity, repeat the expectations, and literally get them to confirm what you've both agreed on for next steps.
And that precision is even more necessary when you're dealing with someone who's just flat out angry. The source talks about setting boundaries while still offering help, using a phrase like, I am sorry, but I can't continue if you are using that type of language.
And then you follow it up immediately with, if you stop, I will do all I can to help. It's so clean. It maintains dignity without just ending the conversation.
And that same structured approach works for giving bad news too, like refusing a request.
Right. The strategy is to explain the limitation first. The budget is allocated elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's an external thing like, we have to comply with the EU regulations.
And then you pivot immediately to an alternative.
You have to. You explain the no, and then you immediately offer yes, even if it's small. Instead, we are able to offer.
Okay, let's talk about the landmines, the phrases you should absolutely never use.
The trust destroyers.
Top of the list, calm down, never works. And the passive-aggressive, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Ugh, the worst.
And definitely no blame shifting, like that's not my fault or you should have. But what about something like, it is what it is? Is there ever a time for that kind of hard limit?
The source argues, pretty fiercely, no. Because saying that, or it's our policy, it just signals the conversation is over. Your interest in solving their problem is zero.
It just invalidates their entire feeling.
And it re-escalates that threat response we were trying to avoid in the first place.
So it all boils down to this really structured language: acknowledge, empathize, and then reassure. It's about choosing your words to maintain a partnership.
It is. So here's a final thought for you to take away. Considering this intense focus on strategic emotional vocabulary, on meticulously managing expectations, How might using these specific phrases impact long-term trust? Does this kind of strategic vulnerability maybe build more loyalty than always appearing strictly professional?